Feel the way I do.
And away we go here for Xbox Division 3.
Still wheel to wheel coming out of turn 19.
Tries to go down the inside of Desio. Desio giving him space, but not by much.
Oh, and he's oversteered, and he spun.
They're side by side, off the track, neck and neck.
And welcome everybody to PPR Esports Abu Dhabi Grand Prix here in 2019, the last race of our season. As always, I am your host, IB Na. Here tonight, I will be joined later on by our guest, Night Shrimp. Tonight is going to be a little bit of a different race. We are winding down the championship and tightening up all of those loose ends and getting those final very valuable championship point positions. As you guys know, Ginger Horizon has been leading our championship and dominating the series basically since he has came in, finishing no lower than 4th in only one race. Currently, Ginger Horizon is sitting at 249 points, B-Dunk 227, Saxman at 206, and Capita Hood at 112, with Andre Myrie at 100 flat, rounding out our top 5 in total there. So, the unfortunate bit of news is that we will be missing B-Dunk tonight, so we will not see a battle on track for those final few points, as B-Dunk could have still edged out Ginger if Ginger would have had some issues going on. Does look like we are having our first cars head to the track, though. I'll get everything set up here. Night Shrimp, how are you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
I am hanging in there, just coming off of that D3 race, which was pretty much an endurance race, it felt like to me almost.
Yeah, it's definitely a thrower. Had some good incidents in it. Some accidents that are definitely laughable. You could look at and laugh back at it, but yeah, overall good race. We didn't have a lot of runners, but still made a good race out of it.
Absolutely. So what would be your tad bit of advice? Obviously, we both have already ran this race for Division 3, but what would be your advice for these Division 1 drivers out here tonight?
Just don't abuse the curbs that much, because you got those orange curbs now that are just gonna, if you abuse them too hard, you're gonna spin out, especially with no assist on. Like, I run assist, but still, with the assist on, I can still spin out.
Absolutely. And as always, our Division 1 drivers do not drive with any assists on at all. The only thing that they do still carry is some of them choose to carry the racing line, but that will be disappearing next season for F1 2020, as we are on board here with Sparky going around here on the first lap, heading down towards the hairpin. That chicane just before doing well to clip it and not take too much of it. Goes wide for the hairpin, tightens it up perfectly, and lets the car drift out. Long straight here at Abu Dhabi. If you're not familiar with the track, this is your first of 2 DRS zones down towards another very tight chicane. It's almost a hairpin here at the end of this straight. Not quite, though, before you start heading down the second straight here. Now, this is your second of 2 DRS zones. Flat out again, slight little bit of a curve here. Got to let the car run wide to that pit lane exit for the other series and make sure that you take these 3 chicanes just perfectly. Try not to go too far over that curb, as it does dip off before heading on to what is kind of another straight. Still has some corners in here, and then hard braking down to second gear for this very tight final complex under the hotel, and then back out. Here we go into the final 2 corners here of Yas Marina, just past the pit lane entry, down the very short start-finish straight for a 134.0. Of course, Sparky is just kind of setting the standard here tonight, as we have many drivers still out on track. There is your championship leader currently getting his bearings, kind of pulling a little bit of a different strategy here. Normally we see him come out on harder compound before getting used to those softs. Very few drivers not out on track yet. Shrimp, what are your thoughts for tire strategy here? What would you suggest?
So I would suggest definitely a little bit of harder strategy because the soft tires, when we learned about them, when you look in the menu, they say only can last 9 laps, and that's kind of pushing it as well. So if these soft tires, you qualify on them, you're probably going to end up doing a 2-stop with 2 mediums on as well. So I would suggest probably going for the mediums first, but it looks like our runner's probably going to be opting for a fast lap on the softs.
Absolutely. These guys don't like to leave anything out to question, anything out on the table. Do you think we'll see any drivers switch over to hards during the race tonight, trying to make it maybe a 1-stop?
Yeah, we might see at least maybe 1 or 2 drivers try to pull it off, especially when you want to get more of a gap on the drivers when they take that second stop as well. So we might see maybe 1 or 2, and it looks like actually Jules is on it, qualifying on hards, and Saxman as well qualifying on hards. So I have a feeling they might want to pull a 1-stop off here.
Absolutely, it can be very challenging. I do see Crazy Train and Saxman as well as Jules running around on those hards. Ginger not happy with his lap so far, so he has backed off to let other cars by at this point. Do you have anybody that you see on a flyer currently?
Currently looks like Saxman, the hards, Phenesis, and Aero Brackish on their outlaps right now. Not outlaps, I'm sorry, they're hot laps. Looks like we're going to have Saxman entering the final sector here and going under a hotel with his hard tires, see what kind of time he can get here. Looks like he got the car out maybe a little bit from under him, but going into the final turn, looks like might have a good time the hards possibly.
Very respectable time for the hards there.
Yeah, definitely. That's definitely a really respectable time, especially getting all the way up there of hards. Usually that would be like a medium tire around there usually, but if we're getting a hard tire 137.2, that's a nice time.
Yeah, we do obviously have a lot of drivers that still have yet to complete a lap. I do believe, though, we're obviously going to see that challenged very quickly. Hopefully that's just kind of a reconnaissance lap here for Saxman, or maybe he's warming up the tires. Not really sure here. It does look like he might be pushing it still. ERS is kind of high. Maybe he's going for another flyer right here.
Yeah, it's possible. If he has that ERS cranked up all the way, he might have put it only at high, and then he might be doing hot lap right now. But you never know. He has run the Jules right in front of him, and looks like he's gonna be speeding past him. Whereas Run the Jules gets out of the way. It looks like his ERS is going a little bit low. He's only at 21%, so it looks like he's gonna be pushing these tires to max on this second lap of his.
Yeah, Saxman is still pushing. Maybe he was just trying to get more heat into those tires by doing a precursor flyer. Looks like he's trying to save some ERS so he can get out of these corners faster here. Coming around the final 2 corners, kissing the apex and running just enough wide, but not too wide on both of the exits of those corners. And across the line again, now with a 136.8. He's cranking down that time. You know, maybe he can kind of stay up there a little bit with that. I'm not too sure, though.
Yeah, it's possible if he can stay up there, or even off on mediums as well, but it looks like he might want to stay with his hard tires.
And our boy PPR Nick is back on track. Haven't seen him for several races now, and it has been commentating in Besteon's absence as well as myself, and we definitely appreciate that. Thank you so much, Nick, for all the support and all you do for PPR. It's really been awesome to be able to work with you. Guys, if you enjoy Nick's commentary next season, I'm not sure if he will be commentating D2, but D2 is kind of his bread and butter and his home for Xbox as far as commentating goes. But riding here on board with PPR Nick for a flyer, headed down towards the first chicane really of the track, just clipping the apex. Ooh, getting a little loose there, coming down into the hairpin. Hasn't abandoned the lap yet, pushing quite hard on these soft compound tires. DRS wide open down this back straight. Renault has definitely been off form a little bit here as of late, but hopefully we can change that tonight. PPR Nick and Funky Cactus doing well, obviously, around here. It looks like Funky Cactus is currently qualified in 5th. Several cars still to go. Lots of traffic on Nick's lap, causing him maybe to lock up, getting a little bit nervous there. Headed deep into the 3rd sector here, close to the hotel section. Nice and late on the brakes, using that super reliable braking system that Renault has. Running just wide enough, not clipping the wall there, doing well to keep the car out of it. Down to 3rd gear, pushing on the accelerator, trying to get across that line and into 9th place with a 136.7. Not bad at all from PPR Nick, especially after being out of the car for so long. Glad to see him back in it. Looks like Ginger Horizon is finally submitting a time. Throws his hat in the bucket for pole. Can't do it with a 134.0. Maybe the Alpha just doesn't have it to take it to the McLaren tonight. But I think we will definitely see him give this another shot. There is still 6 minutes left in the session, after all. Still yet to see any times from 4 different drivers here. It looks like Alfeasance, though, did just go purple in Sector 2 in the Haas. What are your thoughts here for a lot of these drivers? I mean, some of them seem to be really kind of struggling with traffic here.
Yeah, traffic can definitely be a concern on this track, especially with all the. Well, he almost went off, but anyways, continuing. But it definitely can be a challenge, especially going into these fast curves as well, fast turns and fast straightaways as well. So it can be a really big problem for some drivers on the hot laps, and for guys to get out of the way. Might have to go off track and possibly invalidate their 2 laps, possibly. But you never know. Some drivers, they can pull it off and they can put a hot lap in, like BRL Sparky, who actually, while we're on with Nick, he improved by 3/10, solidifying his P1 position so far over Ginger Horizon.
Absolutely. Alfeasance did great even with his car catching loose there to bump himself up to 3rd. But our step-in for Ham Newton this week, Virtual Spartan, has put in a fabulous lap time of 134.7 and said, Alfeasance, I'm going to take 3rd place from you for the race tomorrow. Keep in mind, folks, we do still have Capitol Hood, Crazy Train, and Run the Jewels to go around. So who's your driver to look out for so far? I mean, obviously you've watched a couple of D1 races and you commentated with me on one of them so far. Who's your driver so far? Who's the one that you think is going to be able to take it around Abu Dhabi?
So right now I have 2 drivers highlighted, and I think that's probably Sparky and Ginger Horizon, because their times just seem like they're just ahead of all the pace of the rest of the field. No offense to the rest of the field, but that midfield battle looks like it's going to be tight. But I think it's either going to be BRL Sparky or Ginger Horizon and deliver.
Absolutely. Sparky is putting on a fantastic show here, as we only have 1 car that is still trying to put in a respectable time here on a harder compound tire. Other than Funky Cactus, obviously, he submitted the 134. Has to be pretty happy with that time on the mediums. Crazy Train coming into the hotel section, though, hoping to push that Haas up there with Alfeasance. Man, to see a couple Haas's in the top 10. You wouldn't really say that in 2019 too much, would you?
Yeah, except for Australia, and that was probably about it. And they just had tire problems like last time. And then you had the Magnussen finish, or did he DNF that race as well?
I thought they both DNF'd in Australia with not being able to put on tires correctly, right? Looked like a whole bunch of wankers.
Yeah, I know Grosjean was definitely one of the tire incidents, but I forgot what happened to Magnussen. There's probably another tire incident knowing Haas, but yeah, it's definitely interesting to see a Haas in the top 10 this season.
Double OT out here fighting for those final championship points and dives into the pit. Says, I'm okay with third at this time. Still might have some time to be able to get back out there and submit a fastest lap. Funky Cactus out here again on this medium compound tire, hoping to set an even faster lap, not too satisfied with 7th. I mean, does the medium have much more pace in it?
So when it warms up, it definitely has a lot more pace over a certain amount of laps. I would say this probably lasts maybe about 17 laps max. But definitely when you go a little bit in, it's definitely have a little bit more pace in those softs. Especially going to lap 9 or 10 when the rest of the guys pit, but someone tries to still go on softs and medium just got more pace. And actually, interestingly, Capita Hood hasn't gone out of the pits yet, which is definitely something interesting. He probably won't make it around track unless he gets out of pits right now. I find that a little bit surprising for Capita.
Christian Horner has to be screaming at Capita and Run the Jewels and saying, get out there, please. Little glitch there from timing and scoring, saying that Funky Cactus was in the pits when in fact he is on a flying lap now. Saxman in the pits, Ginger on an out lap, Sparky on an out lap. Why don't you go ahead and take us around the track with Ginger when he comes to the line. We'll continue this lap with Funky Cactus. If you just want to let me know when he gets to the line, I will go ahead and flip over and you can run us that lap.
All right. Sounds good.
Abu Dhabi giving us some beautiful camera angles tonight. Gotta love watching the suspension work on these cars. Obviously, I just wish it was real. With 2 weeks' time till the actual F1 season, this will have to do, though. And then a few days later, we will have F1 2020 in our hands. Guys, please keep an eye out. I'm sure that we will be one of the first to have content up regarding F1 2020 on our YouTube page. It's going to be
Looks like Ginger's coming into the final turn right now. Sorry to interrupt you there, but
no, not a
he's
problem.
Going to be slowing up a little bit. Looks like he's going to slow up a little bit and then going right out all the way in the straightaway right here. He's going to, looks like when going into turn 1, he's going to have this pretty solid racing line right now. Really solid turn 1, perfect racing line going into what you like to call the fake Maggots and Beckett's, which actually has a yellow flag on it. Looks like the McLaren or one of the Jewels in the way, but Ginger avoiding that.
Ginger invalidated.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Looks like he'd be able to pour on P2, but he's definitely not going to be happy with that invalidation.
Absolutely. He's going to be hustling back around the track. Let's move up the grid here to Sparky. Sparky is still trying to improve. Ginger Horizon is not obviously going to be able to have the opportunity to put in another lap, so I apologize for that. But do we think that Sparky is under threat from any of these other drivers? Do we think Double OT can possibly pull something up?
Looking from Sparky's times right now, he's 600ths up. I think Double OT can pose a threat, but I think Sparky right now just has it solidified for him, hitting a purple Sector 2 as well. Or is that it? And he actually just invalidated as well. Oh, he's actually crashed down the wall. That's really surprising.
Oh no!
Went a little bit wide and crashed out. Very unfortunate for him. Actually, let's see what Double OT can do coming through hotel section.
Well, this is going to be a problem because Double OT is going to have a yellow flag and a McLaren stranded in the middle of the road, and he clips him.
Very unfortunate Double OT, and he actually gets a 5-place grid penalty as well.
Grid penalty for that. So unfortunate for Double OT.
This we already can see is turning into a drama scene right here. Just the final
race hasn't even
minute.
started and we already have controversy.
Looks like that might be all our hot laps right now, and we'll get right to the race start in a little bit, looks like.
Yeah, absolutely. Unfortunate for Double OT. He will take a 5-place grid penalty, which, if my calculations are correct, keep in mind, folks, I am not good at math. I'm going to go with 7th here. for his starting position. This is going to be a really tough pill to swallow for him. I'm sure that the stewards will have to take a look at that later on. However, here we go into our race. We have BLR Sparky in first, Ginger Rise in second, Double OT. He has a 5-place grid penalty, so he will not be in third. Mr. Ryma will be third. Virtual Spartan will start in fourth. Saxman in fifth. Alphysance in sixth. And then we will have Double OT in seventh. Funky Cactus eighth. Brackish in ninth. And then Noddle F1 in 10th. Your choose adventure own adventure category is King Kirk, J. Lee Bowens, PPR Nick, Crazy Train, Capital Hood, Run the Jewels, and a few more. I can't read fast enough.
Yeah, I'm hoping the 2020 game to make it a little bit longer, at least 45 seconds instead of that 30 seconds, so we can read through all those names.
It's because I was trying to do math again. Come on now, man.
Yeah.
Well, as our drivers get the final setups on their cars and explain their strategies with their pit crew, we will wait here and look at the adoring virtual fans, as that is probably the only fans we will end up seeing in Formula One in 2020. Obviously, if you have not heard, in Austria there will not be any fans in attendance, as for much of the 8 races that have been released on the calendar. But that brings me up to an interesting thing. Night Shrimp, have you heard about the races that they're talking about adding?
Yeah, I've been heard some of them, like, I forget what it was. San Marino, I think they're talking about adding back as well for some reason. I know there's been a lot of controversy. Yeah, Moa. There's been a lot of controversy around that as well, because there's been some fans that they don't want the F1 to race there because of Senna's death and Ratzenberger's death back in 94?
Yeah.
Yeah, 94. So there's been a lot of controversy around that, but I believe they actually should race there again, because last race I believe was 06. Those Schumacher's last year in the Ferrari as well.
Absolutely. It has been quite some time, and as a Formula One fan for many years, I mean almost actually I've been a Formula One fan for 2 decades now, and that is one of the great tracks. Something I've always said as we watch BRL Sparky knock down a Ballard there coming into the S's to the hairpin. Something I've said, that I would like to see Codemasters do is, if we're going to have classic cars, why can't we have classic tracks? If we're going to put Hockenheim on here, great. Let's put classic Hockenheim on here as well, instead of these short track alternatives. I really think that it would be great and something that a lot of the newer fans would enjoy being educated on, and as well as the older fans would enjoy. But obviously that would include tracks like Imola. Personally, I would like to see, something like Watkins Glen or Indianapolis on there, and many, many more. We are getting fewer. We are getting a few more tracks, obviously, come back, such as Zandvoort, which is awesome. But obviously, I think some of those historical classic tracks would be awesome. What do you think?
Yeah, it'd definitely be interesting if they considered it, and definitely the 2021 game. It would be a very interesting addition. Obviously, 2021 being far away from the new game being released, but it would definitely be a fan favorite if they came out with these historical tracks.
Yeah, I would definitely really look forward to it. It would be great to, have the good old late 90s and Ferrari and McLaren, and just to be flying down, that really long straight that used to be in Hockenheim when it was more of an oval track almost. Some of my first memories of an F1 game are at Hockenheim, the old layout. But as our drivers creep their way back around here to make the lineup, our race start is about to be on their way. Are you excited for the final race of the season here, Night Shrimp?
Yes, I am. This is definitely going to be a thrower, especially if now BRL, Spark, and Ginger line up on as the first Oh, I'm already stuttering here. All right, this turned out bad already, but definitely on the first row, it's going to be very interesting.
Absolutely. Well, we are only seconds away here from turn 1 as we go 4, 3, 4, 5 lights. And lights out and away we go. Sparky away just perfectly, headed down to turn 1. Looks like Mr. Reimer is getting lined up next to Ginger. Ginger is able to hold him back. Sparky getting a fantastic start and
we have
moving away.
Toro Rosso spin. We have, actually, looks like the Williams.
Saxman, our
of,
second
Leighton.
place. Well, our third place in the championship looks like to have gotten off to a real bad start and gotten around. Looks like Crazy Train has also went off the track there. Doing good to keep out of the way. King Kirk also lost several positions. PPR Nick with a corner cutting penalty right off the bat. Not sure what that is about. But we are having a fantastic drag race down the back straight here. Looks like Ginger Horizon is keeping Sparky in check, not letting him get away too much. But that Ferrari is right on the tail of Mr. Reimer. Do you see any other really close battles going on right now? The Ferrari around the outside. 1 second, I do apologize there. I don't know if I cut you off on the same move there, but that was a beautiful move there by Spartan on Mr. Reimer. As it looks like he's about to lose another position.
And he has. Oh, he spun around as well. He's Dean Gentry as well. What has happened to Mr. Reimer? What has happened?
It is all falling apart for Mr. Reimer here, as he does now have front end damage as well. Crashing into the wall yet again. Creeping around here. Definitely going to pit. Lots of damage to the front of that Alfa Romero. Now the gap is really tightened up here between Ginger Horizon. No DRS quite yet. Trying to chase down Sparky here. I apologize, guys. I just wanted to get all that information back up on the screen for you here. Ginger not quite able to do anything yet. Timing and Scoring is having a heck of a time over here, saying that Virtual Spartan is 1 minute and 40 seconds back from Ginger Horizon. Ginger Horizon, I'm sure, wishes he had that comfortable of a gap to be able to fight Sparky, but that's not quite accurate.
Yeah, we also have a gap all the way at the back of the grid. It looks like Crazy Train. Somehow there's a 2-minute gap from him and PPR Nick. That's very interesting of Cody's to do.
Yeah, very strange glitch here happening at this time. Oh, Ginger getting really close here under the hotel section. These drivers are not giving an inch. Capita Hood, big winner, didn't even qualify, already up to 7th place here from the start. Saxman already working on his strategy to get back up to the top. We can see him pushing on Run the Jewels in that McLaren. Another car that did not qualify that moved up quite a bit here to 11th position. Looks like more of our drivers actually selected for the medium strategy than we thought.
Yeah, it's definitely very interesting. Like you said, that whole back of the grid looks like they're going to be going for a little bit of harder compound, while all the other runners, top 10, look to mostly go on their soft tires, except for G. Bowens, which is very interesting.
Had a little bit of a drift there from Saxman. He looks like he's losing some ground to Jules. If Saxman is not careful, he will have Ed here for company very soon, and Nick is knocking on the door of Ed saying, hey, I want to hang out. But it looks like our leaders up here are having a great battle. We have Alfizans working on Spartan. Nice to see a Haas up here battling. Doing a fantastic job to keep on the back of that Scuderia Ferrari. Ginger really not having the opportunity.
Cactus.
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. You go. No, you go.
No.
It's my mistake. I was gonna say, but it looks like Funky Cactus is posing a threat to the double T, and we have Crazy Train who retired from the session. Wondering, he looks like he crashed down sector 3 in that small S section right out of the back straightaway. I'm wondering what happened to him.
If I had to guess, I would. Oh, big accident there with Funky Cactus and Alphysance. That should bring out a safety car.
And it has. Safety car is deployed. But it looks like now the battle for first is now in threat. Sparky is already in threat from Ginger, but now he's got Virtual Spartan to deal with after that restart.
We're going to ride on board here with Mr. Reimer just to see a piece of this collision up here in Sector 1. Not exactly sure what happened to these two drivers. Folks at home, hopefully you got a better look at that than I did. I believe that Cody's was changing the camera angle as the cars have already been removed from the track. Wow. That was a huge crash though. I mean, the car was up in the air.
Yeah, it looks like they probably hit each other coming out of that what you like to call fake maggots and Beckett section. Looks like one might clip the air and they both hit the barrier.
I think you're confusing because I was racing at Coda earlier when I was talking about maggots and Beckett's. That corner though.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. That though is definitely a very challenging corner here. If again, everybody knows at Abu Dhabi, after you get through turn 1, turn 2 starts to sweep uphill. Turn 3 is a uphill, then into a downhill descent with a kink back to the left to the chicane here, as our race leader is in the pits, as well as Ginger Horizon is in the pits. Both teams boxing. Looks like no harm, no issue here for Sparky, other than the fact that Jay Lee, now on 4-lap old mediums, is going to be in the lead. Most of our drivers opting here for the medium tire. You think that's the right call at this point?
Yeah, at this point I would say it's the right call because those soft tires are probably going to be starting to degrade a little bit by lap 5 as well. So the medium tires, definitely the right call here.
Well, currently here on lap 5, folks, we have a Mercedes 1-2. Not 1-2 by the not 1-2 by the Mercedes AMG Petronas team, but 1-2 Mercedes one way or another here with the safety car leading the pack currently. All of our drivers now actually are on medium compound tires. How far do you think they can push us? I mean, surely they're not going to try to push us the remaining amount of laps here, right?
Yeah, they'll probably go about 18 laps in, I would say. Definitely the safety car is going to prevent them from wasting them for 2 laps. So I would say maybe 18 laps from now they might switch the sauce, but you never know. There might be the 1 or 2 guys that might want to stick the whole race on these mediums, but that's really pushing it.
Absolutely. From the bullpen, I am getting some news from Alphysance and Funky Cactus. It looks like that Funky Cactus is trying to take the blame here, and that he should have went left on Crazy Train, or on Alphysance. Alphysance is kindly saying, no, I'm the one who to blame. I lost the rear. I'm sorry, man. So definitely struggling here. It looks like Funky Cactus is also giving us a little bit of feedback here that the softs were going off and that he's not mad at all. Shocked quickly it happens when obviously those softs wear off. So soft compound tires to blame for the safety car possibly? Also, lack of grip?
Yeah, it's possible. Definitely, like you said, the grip levels, they're starting to drop, and what you found out from Funky as well, they're starting to drop. So yeah, definitely you can put that part of the blame right there, and it's possible. It looks like G. Lee Bones actually diving in the pits right now. I'm surprised he didn't do it before.
Yeah, he is now going to be the big loser as the Mercedes 1-2 ends. You can tell how long I've been a fan. I call the Mercedes-AMG Petronas a McLaren Mercedes. Just from back in the day. Of course, we're kind of going to have a McLaren Mercedes yet again here, guys, next year for the 2021 season. After the 2020 season gets started eventually, we will have a McLaren Mercedes again. It's going to be hopefully a much better pairing than they have had in the last few years with Honda and Renault. Obviously, Renault has been a great improvement for them. Hopefully, though, Mercedes will have a good leg up like they did for the next engine cycle as we do make some final regulation changes on the turbo hybrid era here for the 2022 season. So, I mean, what do you think for McLaren next year? I know we're getting off topic, obviously, at esports here, but what do you think, McLaren with a Mercedes engine again? Do you think McLaren's aerodynamics are superior to the Mercedes and that they'll be able to take the fight up front next year?
They can definitely have a fight, definitely put in the front now of Daniel Ricciardo being... Well, actually, McLaren doesn't have a number one driver technically, but I would see Daniel Ricciardo being the number one driver, but Daniel Ricciardo and Lando Norris can deliver definitely in that car. Lando having a lot of potential, and now Daniel, the proven race winner. So we'll definitely see something new in that McLaren Mercedes that we haven't before.
Absolutely. We're going to ride on board here with Virtual Spartan for the safety car restart. As Sparky does back them up here, I think that we are going to definitely see some form of an attack from one of these top three runners right now. Run the Jewels a little bit out of position with those 5-lap old mediums. Who's your money on who's going to be the big winner on this restart?
I would have to probably go with Ginger. He might get the jump possibly. From previous jumps we saw from Ginger, he can get the jump pretty good off the safety car restart, but actually, I feel Jules might be able to get as well those 5-lap old mediums, because those things are they're gonna have a little bit more grip levels. As it looks like we're gonna get away, and looks like Barrel Sparky is actually gonna have a little bit of pressure from Horizon in turn 1.
And I apologize, folks. You should have seen the amazing restart that Ginger Horizon had at Japan a few weeks ago. Due to our technical issues, obviously that wasn't able to happen, but he had this amazing restart coming back down onto the main straight, where he ended up actually taking both positions before turn 1 on that restart. It was absolutely fantastic to watch. It does look like, though, that we have had a couple of drivers caught sleeping at the wheel, if you would. Very much so, breaking up the gap. Run the Jewels falling back very, very quickly. Andre Myrie, though, ready to get past that 6-lap old tire McLaren at this point. What has happened to PPR Nick? Looks like he is off the track. Thankfully, he was
left
not.
the session as well.
Oh no. Well, thankfully he did not do his Hulkenberg impression there. If you guys do remember, a few years ago, that was where Hulkenberg had his big crash, and quote said, "I was hanging like a cow," upside down in his Renault. Definitely have some cars that are staying close together. Speaking of close together, it looks like Ginger is right on the back again of Sparky, not letting them get away. Do you think Sparky is just toying with Ginger, or do you think he is he genuinely can't get away from Ginger?
I assume Sparky's definitely trying to push Ginger a little bit back to catch him off guard, and then Sparky's just going to deliver afterwards. But Ginger definitely brings out some surprises. But yeah, right now it's definitely it's really hard for Sparky.
Ginger closing, but not enough to get into striking range of that car. Folks, I have been provided with a replay here of what has happened to Alphysins and Funky Cactus that caused our safety car. From what it looks like here on this replay...
Sparky makes a mistake.
Oh, Sparky did go off track there.
Ginger now has a good opportunity to get past him, definitely when we're getting back to that first straightaway, and it looks like Sparky actually might be losing a little bit grip, even with those 3-lap mediums. Very interesting.
Absolutely. It does look like that what ended up happening was Alphysins did lose control, and Funky Cactus could not get out of the way as Alphysins was spun in the middle of the road, ended up striking the back of the Haas. And that is what caused our safety car, folks. Thank you so much, Alphysins, for providing that bit of replay here to clarify what had happened. Ginger hungry for this first place. Trying to find a way to get more pace here. Definitely has his battery nice and charged up, though. Looks like Sparky has used a little bit more of his battery. Ginger getting really close there, trying to get side by side. Just can't quite make it happen.
Looks like Ginger might be able to make this happen right on the outside of, what is this, turn 10? I believe it's turn 10. I'm probably wrong, but he was trying for the outside, and it looks like Sparky is defending. He's proving to be really good right now, especially against a competitor like Ginger.
Absolutely, they are creating a little bit of a gap here. Ginger just kind of pushing the McLaren around the racetrack at this point. Most of the time, less than 1/10 between the two drivers.
Actually, it looks like Sparky, with holding up Ginger's, actually, Spartan's been able to catch up a little bit to the back of Ginger, and it looks like he might be able to get DRS in that first DRS zone, possibly.
Yeah, if he can crank down that additional 10th by the time we get to the detection zone, which is down there just before the hairpin. Guys, if you have not joined us before or don't know much about F1, on the mini-map that is over there to the right side of your screen, you see those green kind of radio antennas? Those are like, signals. It looks like kind of when you throw a rock in a pond. Those are actually your detection zones for DRS, and where the green line is where your DRS zones start and end respectively. So there's actually 2 detection zones for each DRS, as we see Ginger trying to go around the outside of Sparky. Can't get it done, has to concede that. Will Ginger be able to get it done down the second DRS straight? The mailbox is open. Ginger is going to try to lick the stamp and send it. Down here, hard braking zone. Sparky runs a little wide. Ginger setting him up almost perfectly, but Sparky just parking on the corner as he needs to at this time. Not really much else going on the track, so we will continue to follow this battle here up front. Up close and personal. Kind of seems to be the theme with these two. It's a real dogfight. I mean, this is almost... I wonder if Sparky is trying to pull a Lewis Hamilton 2016, crew chiefs over here like, hey, yeah, Sparky, you want to speed up? Your pace is not good for us. And he's like, no, I'm comfortable. Trying to back Ginger up into the Ferrari here. What do you think?
Yeah, that might be what's happening, possibly. You might be exactly on the dot with that, because it looks like Sparky probably has a little bit more pace, but he's probably pulling what he did, Lewis did back in 16.
Do everything you can to win that championship. Definitely looks like here, though, that Spartan is finally in DRS range. So working that Ferrari up closer and closer. Draining his battery. I mean, he is almost down to the 20% mark, about 25% here by the end of the straight. So he is really pushing, but he's lost time still. I think his exit just on the end of that hairpin is not quite good enough to keep up with these front 2 runners. as we see Ginger try to mount another attack here on Sparky. Goes down the inside. Can he get it done? Oh, very close there, but cannot make it stick. Back on the inside, though. Here we go. Early on in Sector 3, pushes Sparky wide. Sparky comes back on the track behind Ginger Horizon as he's got it done. Spartan right on the gearbox of Sparky at this point. Spartan looking for the opportunity. Goes on the inside of Sparky. Sparky is just getting pushed wide all over this track tonight, as now Spartan has made the position and has taken second place. It has all gone wrong for Sparky here in the span of the last 5 or 6 corners here. What is happening with Sparky, as it looks like he's lost all of his pace? Night Shrimp, thoughts?
Very interesting, definitely. Sparky definitely, once he conceded Ginger, definitely something happened there where I would say probably his confidence levels went a little bit down, I would say, in pretty simple terms. But yeah, definitely something happened there. But
Sparky with a vengeance
he's going
on
back
Spartan.
A little bit of contact.
Sparky able to hold it off. That was a very aggressive attack there on Spartan, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, definitely a little bit aggressive. Definitely causing Spartan to lock up, and a little bit of contact in his front left tire, and maybe even his left end plate. I'm not 100% sure, but actually, as of looking at right now, Capita, who's made up 11 positions from looks like 15th, has made it all the way to P4 and might be challenging Spartan and Sparky possibly for P2 and P3. Very interesting of how Capita's made this many places up after the safety car. What do you think about it, Abna?
I mean, absolutely. Capita is always one of our drivers who just pushes his way up through the field and is a fantastic talent at doing so. Almost doesn't even need to qualify. Maybe that's what happened. Maybe he decided to go have an espresso or something in the Red Bull garage. I hear that their hospitality unit has great food. One of these days, I need to get my paddock pass so I can go ahead and stop by. But, you know, I think he's right on the money, you know, just kind of staying in here, waiting for somebody to make a mistake, waiting for somebody to pit, waiting for his opportunity. He is a very opportunistic driver. But Sparky had a really weird run there, pulling himself all the way over to the left side of the track here on the straight. Not sure why, but has lost 2.6 seconds to Ginger Horizon at this point. What is happened to Sparky's race? Cutting a corner as well. Not sure what is going on here with Sparky.
Yeah, definitely very interesting what's happened to Sparky here. After gaining that position on Spartan, and looks like Nick has retired. He's actually retired in the pits, but yeah, definitely with Sparky, it's a very interesting race for him so far. He's maintained P2 right now, but I feel with his grip levels might be dropping a little bit. But with 8-lap old mediums, I think he can go for a little bit more, and Spartan, I think, might be able to pick back up P2.
Yeah, absolutely. Spartan is working on getting that P2, but he has to watch out. Capita is closing in. Gap is almost down to a second now for Capita. Capita is hungry for a podium position here, as many of our drivers obviously are. It does look like, though, we have another battle happening here on track with Andre Myrie and Brackish.
Oh,
Brackish
waiting into the wall. Waiting in the wall in Sector 3 after going a little bit of battle with Julie Bowens. Taking a lot of wing damage to that, and now he's stuck in the wall. We might see a wall glitch here. That's not good. That's not good at all.
Run the Jewels coming up on him. Really having a hard time. Oh, he cannot get his car straight. Not sure what exactly he is doing at this point in time. Not the kind of racing we are here for, folks. PPR does not support that kind of a drive. But we have Sparky and Spartan. Spartan. That's really hard to say. Ginger Rising with the 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings.
Car now. Looks like Leighton actually might have hit the wall when he was trying to get out a little bit and maybe knocked his right tire off a little bit. But very interesting to see this now, a second safety car. Maybe now opportunity for Sparky to get back into the race after struggling with his tires. And even now, it looks like Capita might be back in the race after dropping a couple positions as well.
Let's see who pits. Ginger diving in, no questions asked here. Doing a little bit of a drift in. The Sparky, yes. Spartan, yes. Double OT, yes. Saxman, yes. Andre Myrie still trying to make up his mind. Yes. Brackish, yes. Capita, yes. Ed not quite to the point where he can make his decision. Looks like Ginger and Sparky have went for fresh mediums as well. Spartan, Ed, yes, into the pits. King Kirk into the pits. Jay Lee not quite there yet, but yes, into the pits. Run the Jules on the freshest tires of all. Is he going to change his strategy up here? Well, let's see, folks, as he comes around the last corner before pit entry.
Looks like he is.
Changing strategy. The entire field is pitted, folks. We have no changes in positions from what I can tell. Maybe I'm crazy, maybe I'm not. Definitely crazy, though. Sparky on mediums. Spartan on mediums. Double OT on mediums. Saxman on mediums. Andre Myrie being a rebel out here on the soft compound tire. Brackish mediums. Capita Hood mediums. Ed mediums. King Kirk being a rebel as well on softs. Man, the softs just look great on the red Ferrari. Of course, so do the mediums. I mean, it doesn't really matter if it's a Ferrari, it just looks good. Jay Lee Bowens, extreme opportunist, hoping that his third eye is working well and his psychic was right before the race with that hard compound. And Run the Jules got rid of his softs for a set of mediums. Keep in mind, his softs were only like 2 laps old, right? What has happened here?
Yeah, they're only 2 laps old.
Looks like Ginger and Sparky are trading positions back and forth. A little bored behind the safety car, playing some hopscotch. Is that what's happening?
Yeah, you never know. Might be telling the air driver to go faster. Like at Azerbaijan 2017 with Vettel and Hamilton. But going on Leighton's crash, I feel maybe the stewards might have a heavy investigation on that. Definitely very interesting of what he did there, and trying to exit back onto the track, I would say. And it looks like Sparky is now trying to get in front of Ginger again. What's
not sure
going
here
on
what
here?
Sparky is doing, but he is having a good old time trying to figure out how to get back in control of this race. What is your strategy if you're Sparky right now? I mean, you've lost your position. You really don't know what to do.
Right now, I would probably say he has a 100% ERS. I would honestly put overtake on for a whole lap, because even though overtake's mostly for speed in those straightaways, he's still going to have a good amount going into the corners and turns, but that's, I think, the only way to get in front of Ginger without that DRS. Was definitely going to be interesting to see off this safety car restart. Again, Ginger might get a good start as well.
We will have 3 laps, folks, without any DRS on this restart, of course. Just past the halfway mark, though, with almost 10 laps to go in the race. Hopefully we'll see the safety car in here pretty soon.
Looks like we might have the safety car in. Maybe actually might try. looks like might be coming in this lap more likely.
Safety
And it
car
is.
in this lap. Race control. Thank you so much for that update. As Ginger Horizon quickly begins to back up the pack and says, hey, safety car, you go ahead. Double OT very eager right now. Saxman ready to attack. Once that second place from our driver B-Dunk that has not showed up in the Constructors Championship. Williams, though. Go ahead.
Williams having a great race. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but Saxman's made an incredible comeback after losing out in turn 1 back at lap 1, falling all the way to P16. Now he's back up to P5. Definitely hasn't been his race, but now he's back into the race. Now, he might be able to be a threat to Ginger, you never know, but definitely a good race for him now.
As Ginger has already started pulling away from the pack, trying to catch Sparky sleeping, has worked just a tad, but Spartan was wide awake and right on the back of Sparky on this restart. Again, guys, no DRS for the first 3 laps. We have a yellow flag in Sector 1. I'm not sure as to why. Quickly cleared up, though. Did you see something as to why we had a yellow flag?
Yeah, it looked like he made a little bit of contact with Ferrari King Kirk. He's going a little bit slow in turn 2, looked like, but nothing that serious. He continues right behind on the Jules, and looks like he'll be able to just continue the race without his race being ruined.
Fantastic.
But yeah, it looks like Jules actually overtaking Bowens into turn 6, I believe, turn 6 or 7.
Yeah, Jay Lee definitely not getting those hard compound tires warmed up as much as they were needed to. Sparky just hanging out right behind Ginger Horizon. Thankfully keeping him in check, not letting him run away too much.
Like
Running
Sparky's
wide,
got
though,
a
yet
3-second
again.
time penalty.
Haven't got that notification from race control. I do know, though, that Ginger Horizon did pick up a 3-second as well earlier. So we'll have to keep an eye out on penalties. Hopefully they don't come into play too much here. Another yellow flag.
Looks like Capita spun in
Oh,
the hotel
no.
section. He's having a great race as well. Unfortunate for Capita. Very unfortunate, but looks like he might be able to continue without any serious damage done to his wing or his car.
Absolutely fantastic that he was able to go ahead and collect himself and keep carrying on. Ginger just slowly starting to stretch out his gap again. Not really using a lot of ERS. But the Ferrari is hungry. Really wish we knew how much fuel these cars were carrying right now. You know, obviously fuel load makes a huge difference in Formula One, and how much fuel you have and what engine modes are available to you with that fuel. I mean, I don't know about you. I overfueled, I think, about 3.5 laps for this race. How much did you... Ooh, Sparky having a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting from locking up his left front there. As I was saying, oh, Capita Hood getting one as well. I don't know about you. I overfueled by about 3 laps. What was your fuel load like for Division 3?
I go a little bit lower than the actual lap. Instead of putting it, I put it on standard. I keep it on standard for a while unless I'm overtaking. I put it on rich. So I put it a little bit under so I can get a little bit faster in those straightaways and exits from the corners. And we have no. Oh, Jules. What's happened here? And it looks like Sector 3. I think he hit the barrier and now we have a VSC.
No visual.
Same
Four
corner
Jules.
Leighton went out on, but yeah, very interesting. I'm wondering if that wall actually came out a little bit, like that Singapore wall that comes out a little bit. But yeah, Cody's now Now these barrier glitches in this game, luckily now 2020 is coming out, hopefully we have those fixed, but barrier glitches, I'm just wondering if that corner now has the barriers sticking out, which will be a very unfortunate scene for a lot of drivers, witnessing that barrier sticking out.
We'll just add another level of challenge here for our PPR Sports drivers. Here we go, though. We are under green flag conditions again, and Ginger, big winner. Got gap open to over a second, as well as Spartan losing a second to Sparky. So big winner there. Looks like Saxman is officially our closest battle, trying to get on the gearbox here of Double OT, as Double OT is trying to get on the podium. Very tight-knit little battle here. Looks like Andre Myrie, though, with those soft tires, he is going to have to get past these drivers very, very quickly. If he can't, he is going to start losing pace the second those tires fall off.
Looks like the barrier, luckily, the barrier wasn't sticking out that much, interfere with any of our drivers, so thank you, Killries, for not putting the barrier out this time. But and it looks like Sparky is jumping around and going into turn 3. Luckily, he didn't take any wing damage from that, or even had to retire from the race, because that section can be a really tricky part to get through, especially at the speeds he was going at.
Absolutely, Sparky doing everything he can, still within that 1 second mark, closing into the hard braking zone, not near close enough to set an attack up on Ginger as he slides. Oh, big snap of oversteer there for Sparky. It's going to give Ginger some more breathing room, and looks like Double OT is on the tail of that Ferrari, running a little wide there, but keeping it composed. Saxman ready for that Williams to mess up one more time. The second he does, he'll be there. Guys, lap 20 of the race. Your drivers are Ginger Horizon in first, Sparky second, Spartan third, Double OT fourth, Saxman fifth, Andre Myrie in sixth, Brackish seventh, Capita Hood, after having an amazing start, having an unfortunate spin, is in eighth, Ed in ninth, King Kirk in 10th, and J. Lee Bowens, your last of the runners on the hard compound tire, 13 seconds behind in the Mercedes-AMG Petronas. It's been a very interesting race here so far. We've seen lots of accidents and mistakes from our drivers, maybe wearing down from the entire season finally being over. Drivers' Championship has been decided. Ginger Horizon will be your PPR champion at this time, as B-Dunk did not show up for Division 1. Saxman will hopefully move up into... Saxman will not be able to move up to second place. He will be in third for your Drivers' Championship standings. Looks like Saxman has finally found a way around, though, the Williams of Double OT. Something has happened to Ginger Horizon. Did you see what happened, Nitro?
Looks like he might win the barrier, but as I saw, it looked like he might have reset on track. That's going to be investigating who's... Oh no, it's now Sparky going wide. What has happened? Now Saxman with the ultimate comeback now. He's now up to P1 after going all the way down to P16. He's now having the greatest race, I'll probably say. I'm going to probably speak for him, but I don't know his career. But for me to witness this might be the best race of his career so far. And now Sparky diving into the pits along with Ginger.
If my calculations are correct, if Saxman can pull off this first place, he may take second place in the championship. So this is going to be huge for Saxman as we watch Sparky in the pits King Kirk with a 3-second time penalty. Ginger Horizon from first to last, just like that. This is going to be an exciting one, folks. I wish I could see
like
what
King Kirk.
happened.
Looks like King Kirk might have went out where Funky did earlier. And yes, he did. He's now. I'm surprised there's no VSC. He's sticking out on track on the racing line. Very surprising not even see a VSC, but it is late in the race, so it's understandable we didn't see a VSC or safety car at this point. But now the Ferrari of Spartan now challenging Spartan. Not Spartan, I'm sorry. Saxman now being challenged by Spartan. Now Double OT getting into the battle as well. Now with Andre and Capita, who looks like he might be able to edge out P5.
Capita Hood, like I said, always putting himself back in the mix. Back up into the top 5. Has some time to make up, but he should be able to at least close in a little bit up there on the top runners. What a amazing race this has turned out to be. So much drama, so many different things happening. Lead changes as we watch Andre run a little wide there after turn 1. Saxman pulling the Joker out of the hat and being in the right place at the right time to inherit the lead of the race. I really hate, guys, that we do not have a way to be able to find out what happened to Ginger Horizon and Sparky as they continue to battle here at the back. Just shows the level and caliber of driver that they are, understanding that every single position is a point in the championship. But man, for the world champion to go from first to last in the matter of a few corners, I mean, a sector, right? It's unbelievable.
Yeah, just all throughout Sector 3 is just a whole drama show right there. Ginger going wide and they went in barrier a little bit, and then we had Sparky going very wide into that high-speed turn in Sector 3.
Looks like Ginger Horizon is going to go for a move here on Sparky. Around the outside, is he going to be able to make it stick? Spartan picking up a penalty. Ginger trying to make sure he is being respectable to Sparky. Getting around him, not a problem. 19 seconds for them to make up in 4 laps. Hate to break it to you, folks. It's not happening for Ginger Horizon today. This will be... I will not stand corrected on this. This will be his worst finish in the league since joining. But doesn't really matter when you're world champion, I guess, as he pits in. As well as Sparky does as well. Closest battle on track right now is Andre Myrie trying to pull up on Double OT. Running very deep into the corner. Not much else that he can do.
Looks like Sparky and Ginger might be fighting out for the hot lap of the day. And looks like they're going to be doing that, both exiting pits at the same time.
So to be 100% honest with you, if Ginger Horizon gets the fastest lap of the race, this will be his first fastest lap in PPR's Division Xbox One. So he has not yet achieved the fastest lap of a race. He has achieved many race wins, looks like a total of 6. And many podiums with adding an additional 4 podiums there. So he has had a total of 10 podiums, but no fastest laps to his name. So it's going to be very interesting. Hopefully they can stay in clear air and see if they can grab that all important, crucial final point, as every single one of our drivers is in the top 10 at this point. So, I mean, I couldn't have called this Saxman out of nowhere.
Yeah, definitely a good comeback from him after falling all the way down back of the grid. Definitely, if this was real life, this would definitely be what Valtteri Bottas would do. I forget what race he did it in, but amazing comeback. Even Max Verstappen as well. Amazing comebacks just like this. And actually, as of right now, if WT stays within a second of Spartan, he'll be able to edge P2 off of Spartan right now, as OT, I'm pretty sure, has no time penalties looking at the race director.
Well, let's go ahead and verify all of that information that we possibly can. I know we love to see on-track battling here, but hopefully Saxman doesn't lose any positions. Spartan, obviously, he does have a couple time penalties. OT, don't know if he has any time penalties or not at this point, as our good friend Night Shrimp does some digging for us as we ride on board with OT. Track is really kind of spacing out here. Looks like Capita Hood has somehow managed to get down his 5-second gap and is into a second of Andre Myrie and is gonna try to take 4th position here. Night Shrimp, did you find out anything for us?
Yes, OT only has one warning, that's it. So it looks like he'll, as of right now, he'll be able to edge that P2 off Spartan.
Saxman clean as a whistle?
From looking at it, I only see one thing with OT, and it says a warning. It looks like it was exceeding track limits, and it is corner cutting. That's it. Same thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So Capita Hood had a little bit of a squirm there, as you guys saw, trying to push up here on Andre Myrie. Maybe he's feeling the pressure. His tires are 11 laps old, but Andre Myrie kicking the tail end out just as well. That Mercedes-powered Racing Point is not going to be on point much longer. Capita Hood giving a little bit of a dive, kind of half-hearted, very close though to making his full attack here on Andre Myrie. Down the inside, we don't really see passing here. Lockup from Andre Myrie. Capita Hood giving him space back on the track, still squeezing him though, saying, hey, make sure you are as fair to me. Almost pushed into the wall. Capita Hood, though, is going to get it done and is up into 4th. Now, I do not think, guys, I don't think he's going to be able to mount a battle to OT. But let's go ahead and go back to our world champion and watch his battle continue with Sparky. Even down here in 10th and 9th, these guys are fighting for every single point, and you know, there's got to be something said for the heart and soul of these two drivers, don't you think?
Yeah, definitely after crashing out of P1, P2, definitely still fighting for even 1 or 2 points. Right now, Sparky holding 3 points of that fast lap, but it looks like now Ginger might be able to overtake Sparky, with Sparky having to missing a left end plate. So definitely I would give respect to both of these drivers, definitely still continuing, because most drivers would definitely retire in the pits after crashing out. So
very interesting thing here from these two, pitting before finishing their final lap. Man, I can't help but to feel like
they're going all the way to end.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure exactly what's going on here, but man, it's definitely something.
Yeah, definitely something interesting, definitely at the end of the season. Now, it's interesting to see, because now the two front runners are almost slapped by by Saxman now. That's something you really don't see.
So from first to last to lapped. First to last to lapped.
Oh. Very interesting to see. And right now, Sparky's holding that fast lap of 37 flat. Not 37 flat, 37.099. But definitely definitely going to pick up 2 points from the looks of it right here, unless he can do something, catch up Ginger and pick up 1 extra point.
Well, guys, for the final half of the lap, we will ride around with our race leader, Saxman, in the Toro Rosso Honda, which will be AlphaTauri next year. Guys, get ready for me to mess that up a whole bunch in the following season, as we all still know that I have issues with Racing Point and Force India. I think I finally got Racing Point down. Hopefully I can fix the McLaren Mercedes issue as well, and save that for 2020. But it has been a fantastic season with you all here at PPR Esports. We have really appreciated all of the support and love that you guys have poured out to us. Getting us up to 500 subscribers on YouTube has been an amazing journey for us so far, but we are nowhere near done. We're ready to bring you a full another season of PPR Esports and still some more racing this week on Assetto Corsa Competition, as Saxman crosses the line and is your race winner. Congratulations to him for sure. We will run down
Looks
this
like
order
actually
here. Go ahead.
Sparky and Ginger giving us a last lap race, pretty much.
We have a personal
This is-
race here going on by
this is
Sparky
some-
and Ginger.
This is something very interesting. You never see this happen. They must be in the same party on Xbox right now. But congratulations to Saxman after pulling that amazing comeback from all the way from P16. Amazing comeback by him.
Sparky trying to go down the inside, makes it happen. Oh, contact between him and Ginger. Sparky running wide. Thank you for the last battle, guys. We really do appreciate it. Ginger trying to make a move. Oh, does a little bit of shake and bake. Can't get it done. The final time through the triple S there. Ginger on the inside, making it happen. Sparky coming right back at him. Who is going to win between these two? Keep changing up the position. Is it going to be able to happen for Ginger? Can he get it done before the final corner? Trying to get on the inside there of Sparky. Ginger running wide.
Looks like he's going to be doing some donuts.
Ginger doing a celebration for us as our championship winner for this season of F1 2019 Xbox Division 1 for PPR Esports. Congratulations, Ginger. Thank you so much for the beautiful on-track racing and the etiquette that you have provided all of us and showing us what a world champion looks like. And that is the end of the season here for PPR Esports. I'll give you a quick rundown of the final finishing positions in a moment. But first, our celebration on the podium. All those beautiful American flags. Can we please get an American in Formula One? It'd be great to see another American driver. Saxman, though, today's winner. Double OT up there, as well as Spartan on his filling drive for Ham Newton. Congratulations, Saxman. I'm pretty sure that solidifies you into second place for the Drivers' Championship, and B-Dunk will end up in third. Thank you guys so much for what a great season. Let's take a look here. Saxman finishing out in first, Double OT in the Williams in second, Spartan in third, Andre Myrie fourth, Capita Hood fifth, ARL Brackish in sixth, Ed in seventh, Jaylee Bowens in eighth, Sparky ended up in ninth, Ginger Horizon, your championship winner, in 10th, King Kirk 11th, Run the Jewels in 12th, Leighton in 13th, PPR Nick 14th, Mr. Reimer 15th, Alfeezen 16th, Funky Cactus 17th, Crazy Train in 18th. Guys, that is going to be it tonight for PPR Esports. One last thing before you go, I do want to go ahead and remind you of June 27th. We will be hosting the 12 Hours of Silverstone, presented by PPR Esports. in the battle to support Huntington's Disease Association, we will be doing a charity event here. There will be a whole bunch of different kinds of giveaways and a lot of fantastic racing. And I don't know if you've heard yet, Night Shrimp. I don't know if I'm supposed to tell you guys, but there is rumor that a certain Formula One championship will be on the grid this weekend, or champion will be on the grid this weekend for us. So please keep an eye out for that. Otherwise, thank you so much for joining us here at PPR Esports. It's been a fantastic season, and we hope to see you guys next year.